Starting is the most difficult thing that we will ever do in our lives. Starting to follow your passion, starting to work on your dreams, starting a new life completely from scratch. Starting is overwhelming, it's difficult, it's not comfortable, and it's so hard. Especially as a young person, as a teenager, as a person in their 20s, it's inevitable. We don't have a choice except that we need to start a new chapter in our lives. We need to start choosing what career path we want to go on, what things we want to do in our lives, where our life is heading, and what new life we want to start. And that's really overwhelming because up to this point in our lives, everything that we have was given to us by our parents or by previous generations, and it was built for us by our parents or previous generations. The home that we're living in, the food that we're eating, and also the school that we're going to that is giving us exactly a schedule what to do, when and where, and doesn't necessarily kind of motivate us to start a new thing, start new stuff and a new life. So in general, we never started anything up until this point in our lives, and we were overwhelmed, and like this wasn't already difficult enough and hard enough. People on the internet, or our parents, or people at a Christmas Eve dinner, at a New Year's Eve dinner, or in general on Thanksgiving or on any family occasion or when you're meeting with friends, are telling us just start. Like it was the press of a button, like it was easy, like it was a word that you could just say out loud and then it becomes true. But starting is hard. There are all these problems that are coming into your life that you didn't even know you would have or that you are going to face, and then suddenly they are there. Suddenly they are looking you deep into the eyes and you are afraid. And it's like it's a whole stream of water that is just coming, a whole stream of problems that is just floating and just flooding your whole entire life, and you're just overwhelmed and you don't know what you should do and what you will do. And you're scared and you're anxious, and that is exactly what I'm going through in my life right now. I'm starting a business right now, and it's really hard, and I'm having all these problems I never thought I would have that I'm dealing with right now. For example, our product sucks. I never thought that our product would suck. And then now multiple customers were like, oh yeah, your product sucks, your design sucks, and then I had to change the design, and then the design still sucked, and then we had to adjust the design again. And that was this process over and over again. The same for our explanations that we wrote in our product. They were bad, we needed to rewrite them and rewrite them and rewrite it again. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's just gonna be perfect the first time around and it's just gonna be okay. But also our marketing campaigns, I also thought, yeah, should be fine. I mean, I'm a Gen Z person, I can do this. No. Also a lot of problems occurred and our ad accounts got blocked. It was just a whole entire complicated process. And also with financials, sometimes on someone's money came in, sometimes money didn't came in, and sometimes we lost a lot of money, and I had to deal with all of this. And this is not the only area in my life that I'm starting out, let's say it in this way. I'm also starting a non-profit organization, and same game, there are a lot of problems that I'm dealing with that I thought I would never deal with and that are suddenly now confronting me. And I really thought building a non-profit organization, for example, was like simple because I was like, you raise a little bit of money and that's it. And then now we're building this home for the children in need in South Africa. And we are trying to find a trustworthy person that we can work with, a trustworthy manufacturer, a trustworthy person that can help us build the homes. People that, like partners that can help us out with, that can bring the children food. It's so much work and effort and dedication and so many systems and processes that we need to build that are not there yet. And there's so many sleepless nights and sad nights actually, where I'm just like, I hate this. This is too much. And then the next day I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine again. So starting out is so hard. And I know that you have something similar in your life, right? I know that you maybe also working on a dream of yours, that you are working hard on something right now and starting out in one area of your life. And it's so difficult and it's so overwhelming, and you're just like shortly before giving up, where I'm at right now, if I'm like really, really honest, because it's really hard right now in my life. And you know what? I always try to think, is there a solution? And yesterday I was actually thinking about this problem, and I was like walking outside and looking at the stars, and I was just like, what is the solution to this whole starting out problem? And I was like, first of all, you're not alone. We are not alone. You and I, we're not alone. There's so many people out there, and every single person on earth, of these 8 billion people out there, are also starting out eventually at some point of their life, and they're going through it. They're having these nights where they just cry, when they're sad, when they don't know what to do, when they hate their lives, when they're questioning everything. And I think that's normal, and it should be that way. So just to let you know, you're not alone. And in my opinion, that was already, to me, that was a thing. I was like, wow, that already makes me feel so much better and gives me so much motivation to continue doing what I'm doing. And then I always also like to ask myself, like, is it worth it? Is the end result worth all the sacrifice and all the problems that are flooding my whole entire life right now? And as a founder, and I'm going this pathless path, how my mom likes to call it, and I'm really happy with it. I think even though our website is crashing, I have these financial troubles that I've been talking to you guys about, and you know, all these operational struggles building a product. Sometimes it sucks dealing with customers, sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not. Like, I love it, and I love the end result of, you know, like building a company that impacts people in a positive way so much that it's worth it, right? Same for my nonprofit organization. I really, really care about the suffering children in the world. So I know that I really, really want to help these children. And that's the reason why I am willing to face all these problems, these trust issues, these, you know, like sometimes even getting scammed and stuff, and, you know, really flying out even to South Africa to, you know, risk my life to talk to these children, speak to these children. I really, really think that it's all about, is it worth it or not? And then this whole starting out phase, this most difficult phase, it's easier to go through that, right? As if you really, really hate it, and if you don't have a goal or an ambition or like a passion in general. And then the last thing that I also like to do, or what helps me out like really, really much, is I know that right now the starting phase is the most difficult phase of my life, right? I think there is no such as a more difficult time in your life than starting out. And I think I use that as a motivation, because if right now it's so hard to start out, it will get easier down the line. If I put all the work into it right now and it's so hard, it's really, I have all these sleepless, stressed out nights, these nights where where I just hate my whole entire life. And, you know, and then on the next day I don't. I believe that you have to go through this phase of your life. Of course, I'm still enjoying it, you know, it's just like sometimes, right? And just go through this time and know that down the line, your life will get better. And I think that is like a huge motivation to me, because I know right now it maybe sucks, but I know down the line, all the work that I'm putting in right now, all the foundations that I'm setting is what will keep my dream alive and will enable my dream to live on for a long, long time, because I'm building the foundation of this dream house, of this dream palace that I'm building, of this dream life that, you know, that is, you know, kind of built on this base that I'm building right now. So use that also as a motivation, in my opinion, when you're starting out. Really, and that's what I'm doing, is just see that as a motivation. It's hard right now, but the harder it is right now, the bigger the reward later onwards. So that's how I like to think about it. And yeah, I just think starting out is so difficult and it's so hard, and I really think this whole just figuring it out thing is also something I don't necessarily agree with, because there's so much stuff that you think you can figure it out, and it all seems like so easy online, and it just sounds like it's easy, it's simple, just figure it out, right? Like we talked about it before, but it's not. It's so hard to figure it out. And when you see all these YouTube videos that say, just figured it out, I just figured out my dream job, just figured out my dream life, here it is, look at my life, you always need to think about that they went through this starting out phase, this hard phase in their lives too. And always keep that in mind when you see these people who just said, oh yeah, I just figured it out. That sentence has so much pain and suffering and hardships in it that you don't hear it. But every time a person says that, you know that they went through that. And don't think that it's like it's easy and they just didn't know. They went through hard times. And this is exactly what I always like to think. And and then you can ask these people, right? Like, what are their hard times? And when you ask them more, you hear about that more, and then you really get to understand, wow, it doesn't matter what you do and what you want to become. Every single person went through so hard times at a certain point in their lives, And that for me is just like whole entire motivation, because it's a part of life to go through hard times. And these hard times are the starting phase. So let's conquer the starting phase together, and we will.